Hello, hi guys, Lakey Bloke here. This week we're talking all things hopped cider. Now, I got the idea for hopped cider from the big man himself, Big CQ, but also shout outs to Brewmaster Ben and Uncle Jonah. Those guys are the experts, so to speak, on the hopped cider, and I'm just giving it a go, but I'm doing it my way. Okay, I won't be copying or doing it exactly the same way that those guys have done. I'm going to be doing it a little bit different. Okay, so the plan today is one demijohn, sterilised of course. All of the implements have been sterilised. I'll show you all of those in a minute. Going to fill up the demijohn with apple juice. Nothing else. I'm not going to put any malic acid in. I'm not going to put any pectolase in. I'm not going to put any tannin in. I'm not going to put any extra stuff in, only the apple juice. So all we have in there is the natural stuff, the apple juice and the sugars that are within the 100% concentrated apple juice. Then I'm going to do things a little bit different. Now I've got a packet of Citra hops, T90s I believe. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking 25 grams of those hops and I'm going to be making a sort of hoppy tea, so which is essentially just putting the kettle on, boiling it, pouring the water into a cup, putting the hops into the cup and leaving it for 15 minutes before pouring it into the demijohn. That's it really, nothing too complicated. What I would do then essentially is siphon it off into another demijohn after a week or two once it's finished fermenting, and then bottle it another week or two after that. So that's all we're going to do this week. Nice and easy, nothing complicated. Hopped cider is not difficult folks, you just need to get your hops. Make sure you get pellets, because in other videos you've probably seen on YouTube, lots and lots of people have been having lots of fun, chaps. Yeah, lots of fun with hops. The leaf hops, they're little, about that big, and then they expand like that and they explode in demijohns and fill up all the headroom. Pellets don't do that. They essentially just disintegrate and infuse your brew, really. I've got one of those that I've done already and I'm going to show that to you, but this is just a quick hello before I take you around the kitchen. You won't see very much of me, it's just going to be me talking and showing you various bits and pieces of what I'm doing. So quick shout out, hello, and I'll get back to you towards the end folks, so see you in a bit, cheers. Hey guys, Lakey Bloke again. Obviously you can't see me, but I'm here. Woo! Right, here's all the kit we're going to be using. Over here we've got all of our sterilised things. There's the airlock of course. There's the lid to the plastic fermenting vessel I'm going to be using. Some spoons, don't think we'll need those very much. A funnel, 3.5 litres of apple juice. I'm not going to put 4 litres in this time guys, because I want to make sure there's enough headroom at the top of the fermenting vessel. One sterilised demijohn, as you can see. It's already got sterilisation juice. Oh dear, it's already sterilising guys. For the purpose of this particular brew I'm going to be using some Nottingham ale yeast, just a teaspoon of that even though the packet is 11.5, and I've got some Citra hops here, pellets, 25 grams of that. Over here next to it you can see what we've used to basically cleanse and sterilise everything. It's BWB cleaner. It works for me. Other cleaners are available. Use what you want. Just follow the instructions on the packet. So there's the introduction to what we're going to be using. So let's get on with it. Guys, so here we have 25 grams roughly, although it says otherwise on here. That's because I didn't reset the scale, so don't worry about that too much. But 25 grams of hops. Basically going to chuck those in here. 1 or 2 have escaped, so don't worry about those too much. Bump, 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 bump. boom, and boom. Chuck some water over them. Da-da-da. Leave that to bubble over for about 15 minutes, and while we're doing that we can be taking the juice and filling up the demijohn. So all I'm doing here is just pouring apple juice into the demijohn, and what I'm going to do is just pour 2 litres in initially, because what I want to do once I've left the hoppy soup to brew for a bit is pour that in and then pour some apple juice over the top of it to make sure it's nice and mixed up, so you get a decent infused hoppy brew. One addition to what I'm going to put in here, I did say I wasn't going to put any extra in. I'm going to put in some yeast nutrient though, because I don't know how these yeasties are going to behave, so we'll chuck some yeast nutrient in there just to make sure that everything goes fine and dandy. Guys, so here we are 10 minutes or so later, 1 hoppy tea. So we just give that a quick stir. Remember, we've put 25 grams into this Citra hops, and it smells alright. It smells citrusy, which is what we're after, I suppose. So I'm just going to pour that into the sieve here. Be careful. Hey, there we go. Lovely smelly hops. There's some in there still, but what we'll do is we'll put that down there. We'll get some apple juice. Chuck some apple juice in there to soak up the rest of those hops. Give it a swirl, give it a swirl, chuck it in. And that's it. So the hops are now in the demijohn, and I'm going to chuck in some more juice. Exciting, isn't it? But you know, there's nothing to this really, guys. It's really simple. We're just boiling up some hops. Well, we're not boiling them, we're letting them infuse some hot water. Right, so that's where I'm going to leave it for now. I'm not going to do any more than that. What I'll do is in a day or two, once the fermentation has kicked off a bit, I will put some more apple juice in there. But for the meantime, that's fine. Don't want to overdo it. So the next thing we do is put in our yeast. So here we are then, guys. There's a teaspoon of yeast that goes in the top there. Lovely jubbly. Over here, what we're going to do is we're going to take a teaspoon of yeast nutrient and we're going to chuck that in as well. And we're done. All I need to do now is give it a little bit of a shake, and we'll put the bung on, fill it up with water, put the bung on, and we leave it for a few days before we top it up with juice. Hi guys, so here's one I prepared earlier. Now this one, I put the hops in secondary. I basically did a normal turbo cider, and I put the hops into this secondary fermenting vessel. As you can see, a lot of it is gathered at the top of the brew. Don't think it's going to be going up into the airlock. I think that's pretty much it. Doesn't seem to be an awful lot of activity in the airlock either. What I've decided to do with this one though, you see I've just opened it, is I'm going to pour in half a litre of raspberry and cranberry juice. Why am I doing that, right? Well, I've done this with some of my other brews, and let's put the airlock on, and I've found it's really given the brew a little bit of a flavour. It brings out the flavour in the brew, and it doesn't make it quite as harsh on the tongue. So I mean, you look at the colour of that, it's quite dark. That one is not too bad, it's still cloudy, but then, you know, I only did that yesterday, and remember that one had already been fermented. That's a secondary one. This one is all gone into primary because we like to stir things up a bit. So let's run over what we've done then. Hi guys. Right, so what have we got in our brew? Well, if you remember earlier on in the video, way back that way, I put 3.5 litres of apple juice into a demijohn. Everything was sterilised, of course. Make sure you sterilise everything, folks, with whatever sterilisation method you want to use. There are loads of ways of sterilising your kit. A friend of mine, Gary Smith, has done a really good video, which I'm hoping he's going to put up on YouTube soon, and he will talk about all the different ways of sanitising your kit, from star sand to thin bleach and basically the powdered stuff, which is what I use because that's what I use. I haven't had a go at star sand yet. You know, I've got a load of VWP which I've bought in the past and not used it up, so I'm going to use that up purely because it's there and I don't like wasting money. My choice. So yeah, everything's sterilised. Why am I looking over there? I'm just looking to make sure that you know, nothing funny's going on with this demijohn. Plus the cat is wandering around, so if you hear any shuffling in the background, it'll probably be the cat trying to get hold of my brew, and I won't have it, I hear you. I won't have the cat going after my brew. Right, so we put 3 litres of apple juice. In this instance I used Asda's. Other supermarkets are available, folks. I keep saying that, but it's true. I'm not advertising one over any other, because after all, once your juice is fermented, you know, it's fermented apple juice. It don't really matter what type of concentrated apple juice you use, as long as it's 100% apple juice with no added crap in it. Okay, so you can use any supermarket juice. I took some Citra hops, 25 grams, I measured that out, and I put them into a cup of boiled water, hot water, left it for 10 to 15 minutes, and I poured that into the demijohn, and then I poured some juice over the top of it, and I've just topped it up with some cranberry and raspberry, just to bring out some of the flavours, and hopefully that will make some difference. But you know, I've already done one that hasn't got cranberry and raspberry in, so you know, we'll taste them together. What I'll do is I'll do a little video with a taste test, and because of the differences between the two, we'll see how that works out once it's been bottled and carbonated. So this instance I used Nottingham Ale yeast. On the brew I did yesterday, I used normal cider yeast in primary. Didn't use Nottingham Ale yeast. I'm using Nottingham Ale yeast because I've got some lying around and there's hops in there. Maybe it'll help with the flavour. I don't know. You might want to use whatever you want to use. Champagne yeast, you know, cider yeast. Some people are using bread yeast, folks, but I don't know why you would want to do that unless you're making bread, you know. And also some people have said that bread yeast doesn't really do very much. Other people have had success with it. It takes your money, stick it up your bum. Do what you want with it, right? It's your choice. So your choice of yeast. I also threw in some yeast nutrient. Okay. Now the reason I did that is because this yeast, I don't know how it's going to work in this particular brew, so there's no reason why not to chuck in some yeast nutrient, give it a little bit of help. Probably doesn't need it, but you know, it doesn't really matter. You throw some in or you don't. This instance I haven't thrown in any malic acid this time round. It hasn't got any additional stuff like tannin or honey, no additional sugar. So I'm just working on the sugars that are within the apple juice. The only thing I didn't do, which is very naughty of me, is I didn't take a starting gravity. But I'm not too bothered. I know it's not going to be a strong brew because I haven't added any additional sugars. So I'm not expecting it to be, you know, a knock your block off kind of drink. It'll hopefully be some kind of session brew. And hopefully it'll be quite nice. So we'll see. It'll probably be around 5.5 to 6%, I imagine, with just the sugars in the juice. It depends on how much sugars there are in the Asda brand. Again, other supermarkets are available, folks. So we're going to leave that to brew for about a week, I suspect. I don't think it'll take longer than that. And then we'll put it into secondary for maybe a week or two, and then we'll bottle it. But next week I'm going to be bottling the brew I prepared yesterday. It's already been fermenting for a week. The secondary, this one here. Yep. Heavy, aren't they, when they're full of brew? So that's all. It really is easy, folks. You do, you brew, you chuck the hops in, and you leave it. There's nothing complicated about it. If I can do it, you can do it too. So big shout out to Big CQ for giving us the idea in the first place. I know Uncle Jonas had a go, and Brewmaster Ben have had a go, and probably loads of other brewers on BrewTube. So yeah, I'm learning. I said BrewTube then. Loads of others on BrewTube are giving it a go, and it seems to be the thing to do now, because it really brings out some flavours in the cider, and I'm hoping to really enjoy it. I might not, folks, because I'm not a big ale drinker or a bitter drinker or beer. I do like the occasional lager, but I am primarily a cider man, so you know, I might hate it, but we'll see. I mean, the hops smell okay at the moment, so we'll give it a go. And you know, we haven't got anything to lose because we've only done a small batch and we haven't done 40 pints of it. I might do it if I like it. We'll see. So stay tuned, folks. Hope you have a good week. There's a Lakey Bloke bonus coming up this week, which is to do with fruit infused vodka. It's only a short video. Hope you enjoy it. If you like vodka, this will show you how to make your vodka a little bit more flavoursome, and you can use it to do sort of cocktails, or you can just drink it as it is with this lovely fruit infusion going on in there. So enjoy yourselves. Have a wonderful week. Happy Homebrew Wednesday. Peace out. See you soon.